Hello, people. We are live, and I'm still looking at my phone. I'm gonna let a couple more people maybe trickle in, and I'm gonna answer this poll. And I was gonna read it out loud, and I'm really glad that I didn't. That's a really great poll you've sent me there, Alex. Really glad I didn't read that out loud. Yeah, no. I didn't read it out loud. We've got sensitive ears that don't need to know. Okay. So, we are here because while we have not gotten the Star Wars Episode 9 title, we did get some interesting news this week. That being a whole heck of a lot of books that are going to be coming out for the lead up to Episode 9. Right now, they are all pretty much centered around Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is the theme park that's going to be at the Disney parks. So some people were really disappointed when we got this news, and that was entirely because they didn't think that it had anything to do with anything, just because it's about the theme parks, that surely it wasn't going to have any kind of consequences. But I'm here to say that that's absolutely wrong. And that the planet that Galaxy's Edge takes place on is actually gearing up to be kind of pivotal, and that it could appear in Star Wars Episode 9. And I like that I've already scared everybody but Alex away by talking about Star Wars. But, hey, that's okay, because this is still going in the backlog, so we're still going to talk. All right, but first of all, just some background on Batuu, however you want to pronounce it. This is a remote outpost planet on the edge of the galaxy's Outer Rim territories, one that was often used as a last stop before entering wild space. And it dates all the way back to the years before we were using hyperspace routes. And to me, it's kind of like the Route 66 of Star Wars. That's the way I like to think of it. It's a temperate planet covered with forests and mountains, and it's known for its towering petrified trees. Those would be the spires. And to me, this planet sounds a lot like a lot of the leaks we've been getting about set pieces for Star Wars. There was one in particular where we got images of the Falcon in a forest, and I thought it was going to be the planet from Weapons of the Jedi, which I don't remember what it was called. I could probably look it up, but I'm not going to. But Devron. I thought it was going to be Devron because there is a temple there. But now I'm wondering if it's going to be Black Spire Outpost, because it just sounds it looks similar. It kind of sounds similar. We know that at times the Empire has had holdings there, the Republic has, the Resistance has, First Order, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we are leading up. So MC thinks Batuu is going to be in 9. I honestly, so I think that if it is in 9, that's where the Resistance's base is going to be. So maybe we start out there, or maybe like some end game stuff happens there. We do know that that's where the Falcon ends up, mostly just because like it's there for one of the rides, but also because, and I could have gotten these out before I started, Lando's Luck. This is part of the Flight of the Falcon series. There is a handy dandy little chart at the front here, telling you everywhere that the Falcon has been. And after Crate, it goes to Batuu. So we know that the Resistance is going to have some sort of something going on there. I definitely think that they could have some decorations like Route 66 at California Adventure. It's a shame that they're not building it in California Adventure, because they could just bleed into each other and it'd just be exactly the same. But so that's kind of what we know about it. And it's made appearances so far. It wasn't actually in Lando's Luck, but it's in the other book in Flight of the Falcon, called Pirate's Price. Pirate's Price. It's in that one. That's actually the Falcon getting there. That's like, no, it's not. It takes place before that. Whatever. It has Hondo in it. It's got Porgs. So I don't know. I haven't read that one, but it's on the list. It's also been in Thrawn Alliances. There's a lot going on there with the Separatists and Padme. They go back there later on with Thrawn and Vader. That book is really boring, but it was there. We're also going to see it in the new books as well, which we're going to talk about in just a second. And it's also made an appearance in Star Wars Resistance, only in a picture, but it's where Yeager is from, or his family was there, or he lived there at some point. I'm not sure, but that's really, really exciting. I cannot imagine Mater strolling into Batuu, but I would like to imagine that he could. That would be kind of interesting. But that's what it is. Like, that's literally... It nobody goes there anymore because now everybody uses the hyperspace lanes, and so that people just like pass it by, and it's known as like the last stop before you go out into wild space. And in the Aftermath books, Palpatine had a contingency plan that was like it depended on stuff out in wild space, like he sensed something out there. I think it was Snoke. I think this is where the remnants of the Empire disappeared to. They emerged as the First Order with Snoke. That's just my theory. So clearly, like, Batuu could have been like a stop on their way out there. We don't know that because Aftermath ends before that, but I think it'd be kind of interesting. So getting into the books that we're going to be having, and I'm going to pop out the chat for this just in case. Okay. So getting into some more of the books here, we have a comic book series that's going to come out. This is just Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's going to be, looks like, kind of talking about like the different people that come there, like the smugglers, the merchants, the travelers from every corner of the galaxy, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. It looks like aliens like the infamous Doke Ondor, a proprietor of rare and one-of-a-kind antiquities, thrive on the unique opportunities which abound in the lawless outpost at the very edge of wild space, which to me kind of sounds like the Collector from Marvel. Like, that's kind of interesting. There's something going on there, and I wonder if that could tie into a lot of the early theories about like the Knights of Ren looking for Jedi artifacts. That could be kind of interesting. Yeah, definitely. It'll also interest the people who read the Disney Parks comics for sure. I like that they didn't just announce books, like they're also doing a comic book series, because that's gonna, I think a lot of like the fun Easter eggs are going to be found more in the comic book series, like the stuff that like you could go and find or be like, oh, this is from this thing and all that kind of stuff. That's where that's going to lie. Comic books aren't really like my jam, but I know that some people are like super into them. So that'll be really, really cool. That comes out April 24th. So not too long after Celebration is when that'll get started. The next book that they announced is... This one doesn't have a cover. It's Black Spire by Delilah S. Dawson. And this will be coming out September. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I just noticed this. That book comes out September 3rd, which is also when her other book, the Skywalker Saga, comes out, which just happens to be the day before my birthday. So that's kind of interesting. And this one is the one that we know the least amount. And I think it's going to be Journey to Episode 9. Because it says, in this novel, a prequel to the Disney Parks experience, General Leia Organa dispatches her top spy to Batuu in a desperate search for Resistance allies. And it's pretty much been confirmed that that means, I say pretty much, it has been confirmed, that that means Vi Moradi. She was in the Phasma novel, and she's also in Women of the Galaxy. I'm not getting that one out because it's under the stack. And in Women of the Galaxy, it says that she's dispatched to Batuu to look for these Resistance allies. And this is where I think a lot of Nine speculation is going to come from, because I know that there has been some speculation about pirates and Hondo and Maz, and I really feel like we're going to find that here. Like that's what she's going to find. And I think that'd be really, really interesting. We know that the rest of the resistance is going to end up there at some point. So this could be like where she finds Lando. Like we don't know yet. And this is the one that we got like the least amount of description for. So I feel like this is going to be a book to read before seeing episode 9 for sure. And I also think it was when I was listening to Sky Talkers, they were kind of speculating about in Resistance. We have kind of a interesting dynamic going on with the pirates there. They're working with the First Order, and spoilers for Resistance if you're not caught up quite yet. My phone's buzzing. It's not anything. Spoilers for Resistance if you're not quite caught up yet. But the First Order finally just double-crossed the pirates. So they were wondering if maybe the pirates will want to come back and help the Resistance. I think that could be really interesting. That could be a really cool way to tie in this TV show to episode 9. Like maybe we just see some pirate cells joining in. We could get like a cool Sonara cameo if she's still with the pirates. Like, I don't know. That'd be pretty awesome. I'm not sure if they want to go that connective, but if they do, it'd be really, really cool. I would see it more like how in Rogue One we hear them page General Syndulla like over the intercom. That's kind of how I would see it, where it's just like, if you had seen the show, you'll recognize it, but if you haven't seen the show, it doesn't really matter. That would be really, really cool to me. So Black Spire, definitely one to watch out for. And also her other book, Skywalker Saga, which we talk about on the show, might be getting a Ben Solo point of view of Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for that. Makes me nervous, but I'm here for it. It's going to be cool. The next Galaxy's Edge book is called A Crash of Fate. Out of all of the books that have been announced, like obviously I'm really excited for Black Spire because that's going to be like run up to 9. But A Crash of Fate is a young adult novel, which I love. Young adult novels, like that's what I read. Like that's what I really, really like. This one sounds really, really cool. This is written by Zoraida. Zoraida Cordova. I think that's how you say her name. And I looked her up. She's got a couple of other series. I haven't read any of them, but they look really rad. Like they look pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to check those out. This comes out August 6th. And this is a novel about Izzy and Jules. They're best friends until Izzy's family abruptly leaves Batuu when she's 6 years old. Now she's back, and Jules, the boy who never left, is unsure what to make of her. And that, like, just sent my shipper heart. I'm so freaking excited about that because this is like, yeah, that good best friends angst. Like this is childhood best friends who like become estranged and they come back together, but they've changed and they're different now. And like, I don't know, I'm just here for that. We got such good YA angst in Lost Stars, and we get some pretty good angst in Most Wanted as well. That's another YA novel. But this has some potential. It's interesting. And the setting is Batuu. And I'm wondering if maybe we'll even get some hints as to Yeager's family. I don't know. More spoilers for Resistance, but his family is supposed to be dead. So I don't know. And Alex is right. Some of the best Reylo AUs are growing up together ones. Those are the ones that hurt the most because they're like the biggest slow burn, and then they have like the huge pain in the middle of it, and then like everything turns out okay. Those are the ones where like you have to strap in for the long haul and you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. But it looks like this is really gonna focus in, it says 2 friends will come to terms with who they are and what they mean to each other, and like that's my jam. If it's character driven, that's what I want. Like they're gonna be on the run from vengeful smugglers and angry pirates. But if it's that character-driven angst, like, that's what I want. That's what I am here for. And then the last book, which there's a link to all of this in the description of this show as well, if you want to check this out. This last one has like a huge excerpt, so you can read it if you want to. And this is the one that everybody's been freaking out about. It's Myths and Fables. This is written by George Mann and it's illustrated by Grant Griffin. This is out on August 6th. And this is a middle grade novel where you can hear the thrilling space tales, fables, and myths that are told in a galaxy far, far away. The book features 2 stories that take place on the remote outer rim world of Batuu, plus many other untold tales from the edge of the galaxy. Lushly illustrated that pays homage to the real world children's classics. And everybody's freaking out about it because there's a dragon on the cover. Which I'm excited for this book. I think it's going to be really cool, but I also think that it's going to be cool in the way that like Legends of Luke Skywalker is. And in that one, it's unreliable. You don't really know what's true and what isn't, like what's made up. Like really, it's just to get like a bigger picture of what people think of Luke Skywalker. And there's some really cool themes that you can get out of it, like specifically on What the Force. They have like a whole episode about it that's really, really awesome. Oh, Josh is logged in as the network and he just commented with the network and I was like, what happened here? But yeah, the What the Force has a really, really good episode about it if you haven't read it, which I haven't read it. But I do think this is going to be a cool world building type of story. I don't know what it's going to mean for episode 9, but it does sound really cool. And that's the one that everybody's freaking out about. But like I said, Black Spire is definitely the one to watch out for. I think that's going to have some major things going up into the lead up to 9. I think that, again, like Batuu is going to be either like, this is where their base is, so we start out here, or maybe we're like constantly going back there, or maybe that's where like some final battle stuff's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe this is the planet where we're gonna find that giant turtle that's gonna eat Hux. Did anybody else hear that rumor? I don't know, but I'm interested. I'm here for it. I think it's gonna be really, really awesome. We just got a comment from Jesse saying myths and fables will probably have a myth about the Mortis gods. Oh, that's a good point. Prime Jedi or any of the members of the Dark. Ooh, that's interesting. Because there's a lot of Mortis god stuff when it comes to like, yeah, Prime Jedi, Reylo theories, all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely be here for that. And I think I read somewhere that there was a temple on Batuu, or there's a temple. Yeah, there's ancient ruins. This is on the Wikipedia page, which I've also linked down in the description as well. There are ancient ruins on this planet. So if that's like some Mortis ruins, like I'm totally here for that for sure. But that pretty much does it for all of these books and the connective tissues. I mean, I have a very clear picture in my mind of what I think episode 9. It's hard to say. It's like I have this clear picture in my mind of like what I think is gonna happen, but at the same time, like I don't think that's what's gonna happen. So it just causes me like endless amounts of stress. So I don't know, but I'm really excited and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. Recently, if you really want to know, there was a leak that came out that said that maybe the title was going to be Ashes of the Empire because of the crawl for Force Awakens. And it makes sense to me, and it does like complete the whole phrase of The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi from the Ashes of the Empire. But it sounds very video gamey, and it sounds very like this would be the title of a comic book, or like for the books or whatever. For the saga films, it seems to me that they try to keep it like a little bit more low key. Like they would I don't think they would ever actually do like World Between Worlds or some of the crazy Force stuff that they do on the shows or in the books, just because the films are a little bit more accessible for people. And that's why, like, Ashes of the Empire just doesn't really sound quite right to me. I'm still really in the New Order camp. Like, I really do think that a New Order makes a lot of sense, and it sounds cool, and I like it, and I'm here for it. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I also heard a rumor that they're gonna drop the episode 9 title on Valentine's Day because of Reylo. Um, I don't think that's true, but I'm here for it, and I'm happy about it. Um, but yeah, really all we're gonna be getting all we're really gonna be getting until Celebration that we know of right now is Queen's Shadow. That's coming out really soon. That's by E.K. Johnston, and it's about Padme before? No, after the Phantom Menace. Not too long after. It's like in between somewhere in there. There's a big time gap there. That's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited about that. I know a lot of people were worried about it being by E.K. Johnston, and the only thing I've read by her is the Ahsoka novel. It's not my favorite, but I've heard some really good things about Queen's Shadow, so I'm very, very excited for that. Um Oh, that's true. I totally forgot about that. So Jesse brought up that the title could come in the investors call on Tuesday. Yeah, on the 5th. They're going through like their earnings and everything again, which last time that happened, we got some kind of news and now I can't even remember what it was. So that could be something to keep an eye out for, definitely. Um I don't know. I just have this feeling that they're gonna drop it on just like a random day with no pretense or anything. It's just gonna happen and people are just gonna miss it and just get confused. Yeah, it was the Cassian show. That's correct. Which I'm also very excited for. I'd be more excited if we could have Rebel Captain. That's never gonna happen, which just makes me sad. But the Cassian show is gonna be cool. I'm actually really excited for both the Cassian show and The Mandalorian, but I still have it in my mind. The Mandalorian is going to be Romeo and Juliet. I don't know why. I don't remember who even proposed that idea, but somebody did, and I'm like, yes, I'm here for that. That's what I want. This is the kind of content I'm looking for. So I don't know. But that is pretty much all I have for you guys. Resistance is gonna come on in like an hour and a half. I'm ready for it. Apparently, it's gonna be a doozy. Apparently, there's an elevator scene. I'm here for that. I'm ready. But I bet you, oh god, it's probably gonna be a Kaznara elevator scene though. I want it to be a Tamnara or a Kaztora. I don't know what Kazantora's ship name is yet. Um, oh, Jesse brings up I wonder if they'll recanonize I know what you mean. Mara or Shira. Oh, that'd be interesting. I've heard a lot of rumblings about Mara Jade possibly coming back. Because a lot of people were speculating that it's going to be Carrie Russell's character. I don't think so. I don't think she'd come back in a saga film, especially not this late in the game. But I would be interested in that. Personally, I think Carrie Russell, Richard E. Grant, and Matt Smith are all going to be First Order officials, and they're padding it out. They're like filling out First Order officials because they're going to do the Hutch words. They're going to do the Hux staging a coup. Guys, they're going to do the Hux staging a coup thing, and they need more First Order officials because Captain Kennedy is dead. And if you've already killed off your awesome person, then what are you going to do? Maybe he's not dead. Maybe he can come back. I'm excited about that. But that's what I think. And then I think Dominic and other person, Naomi are resistance, or they will be like kind of joining the resistance. I don't think that's necessarily like a hot take. I think that's pretty. So Jesse wants Carrie to be a Knight of Ren. I really don't want the Knights of Ren to be in episode 9. I really don't want it. And I don't know why I really don't want it. I just really don't, because I just want Kylo to be alone and a sad boy. And it's so late in the game. I don't know. I just don't think, even if they were in it, I don't think they would be what people would want them to be. So I don't know. But that is where we're going to leave that. We made it to almost 30 minutes, so that's pretty good. But that does it for me. I'll be back on my Star Wars nonsense, every day, all day over on Twitter. I was working on my next History of Disney Princess, but it morphed into a completely different video. So be on the lookout for that the week of Valentine's Day. It's going to be awesome and cynical and amazing. Not that cynical. I made it a little bit more happy. Oh no, Brittany got here at the very end. I'm sorry. Brittany, quick, do you have any episode 9 speculation and theories? Go on the spot. You have 10 seconds. Not really. I don't know. I can answer a question really quickly. But yeah, that's everything. Yeah, the next video for me is going to be kind of Valentine's Day themed, that kind of stuff. I have to put these books away now. Oh, she's thinking of a question. All right, you're on the spot. Go for it. Come on, Brittany. I know you can do it. I still haven't seen On the Basis of Sex, so don't ask me about that. I keep meaning to. I haven't seen anything. I'm so behind on movies. Illness got me down, man. Didn't they hint to the Knights with Kylo's attack on Tehar kids in Resistance? Did they? I just remember Nico saying, "What is a Kylo Ren?" Because Nico's adorable. I love Nico so much. I don't think they said anything about the Knights of Ren. I mean, they talked about Kylo Ren coming in and destroying their village, but I don't think he had the Knights. Yeah, I agree with Alex. I'd have to rewatch it, but I don't think they mentioned the Knights either. I really want to rewatch all of Resistance. I meant to do that while it was on break, and I just never got around to it. So Brittany does bring up the Knights of Ren and wanting to see that work back into episode 9. I just really don't think there's so much that needs to happen in episode 9, and I just feel like the Knights are one thing that, like, I don't really think they need to work back into it. I think it's interesting and it's cool. I would rather see them explored in books or comic books or something like that, because personally, I think they're all dead. Which, yeah, that's what Brittany said too. Yeah, I think they're all dead personally. I think that Snoke was mocking him, and it's just because Snoke really needed Kylo Ren to be super isolated, and having a bunch of buddies that he's in charge of doesn't really work, unless they just weren't, it was kind of like a Hux relationship, which then if they were in it, I feel like they would just be like the Praetorian Guards 2.0. So I just don't really see them fitting into the narrative unless it's before. Because I did like the theory that they were the other students from Luke's temple, which is really, really cool. But again, I think it all really hinges on him being so isolated that I just don't really see him having those other types of relationships. Oh, Alex is right. She doesn't want them to be dead if Jacen Syndulla is one of them. If Jacen Syndulla is one of them, then we have to have a friends to enemies to lovers relationship between him and Thane and Ciena's daughter. I don't make the rules. That's just how it happens. That's what I'm sorry. That's what we have to have that. Not that we know that they have a daughter, but that's what that would mean in my mind. Jesse said Poe and Kaz might be investigating Tehar in an upcoming episode, according to the second half trailer. Looks like where the Knights attacked in Rey's vision. And I don't remember that from the trailer. I remember them looking for something, and I remember them underwater. Now I gotta watch this stuff again. I'm such a Resistance stan, and now I feel like I'm being called out for not paying attention. But that'd be interesting. I still think that that's a whole nother conversation. Alex is right. We are too invested in Kaz's hair and his Sans jacket look and the love droids and the shipping and Niku and Bitey. Bitey's my favorite. Okay, but Brittany said she has a head cannon. I almost said a hand cannon. Never mind. About Finn, but it's kind of from left field. I'll message you about it later. Okay, you can do that. I'm here. I'll be up. I gotta watch Resistance, so I'll be here. Star Wars Explained has a good breakdown of the trailer that says what I mean. Okay, then maybe I need to go and watch that. Because I watched that trailer like a ton of times. Although, granted, I got really distracted when Hux showed up. Baby boy Hux, who's gonna get eaten by a turtle. And then it was like with Kaz and Tora and like the angst, because Kaz is from Hosnian Prime, and I'm ready for the angst. It's gonna get so dark and so sad. I'm ready for it. Oh, his emo haircut. Oh, poor thing. But okay, so I guess I'm gonna go and watch that and educate myself, and I will have interesting thoughts on that then. But yeah, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me today. I'm always up to talk about Star Wars. I like doing the live show when I can talk about Star Wars. When I have to talk about other things, sometimes I forget what I'm going to talk about. But this is really fun, and I like it. So, oh, see, you keep saying stuff every time I try to sign off. So now Jesse's saying that Finn could be Ray Sloane's son. That's interesting. That'd be really cool, actually. We don't know what happened to Ray Sloane still. That's really cool. I'm here for that. Especially because like he doesn't know anything about his childhood, and we do know that like the First Order needed children. And so it could just be that like he was available. I would wonder who his father is, but I guess it doesn't really matter. That's interesting. That's cool. I'm here for that. But I'm gonna go. I gotta get ready to watch Resistance. I have to like prepare my mind. Snoke probably did kill her. You are correct. But we'll see you guys next week. Be sure to tune in to the podcast tomorrow. We've got some interesting news and some fun topics that we were discussing. I'm like, ooh, I got blurry. I'm like halfway through editing it. It's probably gonna come out not first thing in the morning, but in the morning whenever I finish it. So yeah, that's exciting. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Ending the stream.